Welcome back. So Tommy Dean and Capelli are making their way back to their home base.
Tell me I'm crazy. What the hell is it?
It's a terraformer. Susan, you there?
I was just gonna call you. A guy just walked into town. Says he knows you. Get a few drones following him. I've got everyone underground just in case.
No, we won't be safe underground. We have to evacuate the town.
Evacuate? What's going on?
Get down!
Thanks, Joe.
Susan.
So, someone who knows Capelli has shown up. I wonder who that might be. What character from the Resistance series who knows Capelli is still alive? So that there's a Goliath. The largest ground-based vehicle that the Chimera have. Unlike earlier games, we won't be pulling off a daring maneuver to destroy this one. We are no longer Srpa, remember, so we simply don't have the resources to take on this sort of weaponry.
You two get back here as quick as you can.
We're on our way. Oh, Christ. Out the back here.
The game has some pretty depressing little moments.
Steelhead! It's shooting through the walls!
So steelheads are some of the more dangerous enemies in any Resistance game. That is because they carry around the auger, which is probably my favorite weapon in this game. The auger is the gun that lets you shoot through walls. It's pretty darn great. Second function lets you drop a shield, which you can then shoot through to kill enemies. Again, it's pretty great. When you have the auger, really the only thing you need to worry about is any enemy that might also have an auger.
It dropped its auger. It's yours now. You hear that? I think there's more of them on the other side of this wall.
Now, some people play Resistance and they treat the auger like a machine gun and waste their ammunition, and there's not a lot of auger ammunition in the game, so they don't get to enjoy it to its full extent. But auger shots are actually quite powerful, and if you use it as sort of just like a single shot function and just make sure every shot hits, you will get quite a bit of mileage out of this gun.
Drop an auger shield, Joe.
If you thought the second function for the bullseye negated the lack of regenerating health, well, really, the auger is the one that truly does it. You don't have to worry about popping out of cover at all with the auger.
Before it comes back around. Rockets incoming! Keep going! Goddamn! Gotta keep running! Up the stairs into the outpost!
This part of the game does create a pretty good sense of urgency. However, you don't really have to worry about getting killed here. It's even on superhuman mode, it's hard to get killed while running. It's really a scripted experience.
Let's get back to town.
More dead humans, more angst from Tommy Dean.
We get through the mill and we're home free. Come on, Joe.
This section here at the mill is pretty fun. Simply for how great it is to absolutely triumph over all the Chimera without ever having to pop out of cover. There's a lot of auger ammo here. It really gives you a chance to try out this weapon, and really seeing these horrifying, monstrous aliens struggle to deal with the fact that they can't find you is fantastic. Also, the game's AI just does not really function that well when faced with an auger, so you get a lot of Chimera that just sort of stand around. I'm well on my way to leveling up this gun. That auger might have been a problem. Sorry, that steelhead with the auger might have been a problem, but thank goodness Tommy Dean was standing right in front of it to draw its fire, so go Tommy Dean. Your allies in this game are invincible, so don't worry about Chimera killing them, don't worry about yourself accidentally killing them. Friendly fire is off for the whole game.
Let's get through the rest of the mill. Come on. Let's move.
I'm picking up Hedgehog grenades too. Hedgehogs are the standard Chimeran grenade. You toss them, they pop up and explode in a hail of spikes that kill enemies. They're pretty great. The hedgehogs in this game act less like they did in earlier games. Earlier games, you would toss them, they'd drop and pop up right away and explode. Now, when you drop them, they act as basically trip mines. So wherever they land, they'll stay until a Chimera comes by, then they'll pop up and explode. So
Close one.
the hedgehogs have been improved. They're a little more useful. They make great traps, and it's a little bit harder to waste them than it was in previous games.
Sounds like our guys got him held on the bridge. Let's flank him. Ready?
Resistance 3 uses pieces of sheet metal to funnel us into the next area and make sure we can't go back. A nice touch, but they kind of use it a lot, so it gets really noticeable when you've entered a new sort of section or a new battlefield. Again, I don't really have to worry about that steelhead beating on Tommy Dean. Your allies are invulnerable. And you may notice in the corner of my screen a little bit of resistance physics going on. Or should I call those kill zone physics? I don't know, but yeah, that Chimera is just floating there. Hybrid's just hanging out. Also, surprisingly... Yeah, that's a surprisingly detailed dismemberment function. Just knocked off its skull, and then its jaw, and... Yeah, it's surprisingly detailed.
Thanks, Joe. You got here just in time.
Where's Susan?
Last I saw her, she was near the bank.
Scrounge for weapons and ammo, then get back to town. There's more of them on the way.
Joe!
Susan! Is Jack okay?
Yes, he's in the tunnel.
Get him. Grab all the food, water, and blankets you can carry. Lester, barricade that street. Chimeran ground troops will be here in a few minutes. We'll have to hold them off till the rest of the town evacuates. I want to know who got us into this mess. Malikov. You goddamn fool, you let him right to us!
It's Dr. Malikov.
Younger issues, I see.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Wait,
Just a crazy old man. Joseph,
no.
you must listen.
That was the game doing telling, not showing. Still have those anger issues, Capelli. Yeah.
Power surged through the Chimeran Tower network toward New York City. It activated a bridge through space and time, what they call a wormhole. Its purpose is a mystery, but its effects are clear. That tower in New York is slowly freezing our entire planet. I've been trying to find you for months.
We're moving everybody upstate. We might have room for one more.
No, you don't understand. I came here for Joseph. We must travel to New York City. We must shut down the tower.
Not a chance in hell.
Temperatures are dropping faster. We will not survive the winter. Any of us.
Joe, more dropships in the main street.
I'll be right there.
Joseph, I'm the only man alive who knows how to shut down that tower. I need you to protect me on the way to New York.
You want protection? Here.
Malikov is a pretty good shot, by the way. Okay, so the tower that was activated in Resistance 2 opened up a wormhole, and it appears that whatever the pure Chimera are, they are terraforming Earth so that they can come through here and live on Earth. We don't know why. We still haven't even really seen pure Chimera, aside from a couple of Easter eggs seen throughout earlier games.
Don't wait for us. You and Jack get out of here. Promise. Come on, Joe.
But yeah, so terraforming seems to be the Chimera's current goal. They can't live with their high metabolism. They can't live in really hot environments, so they're cooling down the Earth so they can stay on here without heating cooling stacks. So yeah, I'm a bit annoyed at how they treated that Malikov and Capelli moment, with Capelli having a legitimate concern. So Malikov showed up. He was followed by drones. He brought the Chimera to the Haven underground base. He's basically all these people who are getting shot or killed. All these people who have to evacuate have to do so because Malikov showed up. So I think Capelli has a pretty reasonable, cause for concern. Like, him being angry is totally legitimate and not at all sort of exacerbated by Capelli's previous anger issues. In fact, given Capelli's previous anger issues, his response to Malikov was pretty tame. He didn't actually physically hit the guy. And yet, because I guess the developers wanted to acknowledge that Capelli used to be a really angry guy, they have Malikov say, "Oh, still have those anger issues, Capelli." But he wasn't really... That wasn't angry Capelli. That was still... This was new Capelli. This is sad dad Capelli. It was telling, not showing. We haven't actually seen Capelli get really angry. Anyways, this new gun is the marksman. It was a fantastic sort of, it wasn't like a sniper rifle, but like a just longer rifle in Resistance 2. Fired in 3-round bursts. Had a much better scope in Resistance 2. You have to level up this gun before you get the awesome scope. So I'm going to try and use the marksman as much as possible just to level it up till I get the scope. So I really dropped the ball and was not watching my left flank, so this death is on me. Yeah, so that's a lot of hybrids I let just walk up and surprise me. These enemies we're seeing jumping around are... what are they? Long legs, I think they're called. They are basically the slip skulls of previous games. They jump around and they're really quick, so they're hard to track, so you either need to be really quick when shooting at them, or you need to use the bullseye's tag function to make sure that you're actually hitting them. I do like that there have been enemies specifically designed so that in order to combat them, you really do have to use the tools that you have at hand. As long as you can catch them when they land, you should have enough time to kill them with more conventional guns, but the suggested way of killing them in the weapon journal and the enemy journals is to use the bullseye tag ability. I think it's funny that Resistance keeps including churches in their games. Especially after the whole Manchester Cathedral controversy that happened in Resistance Fall of Man. Which I won't explain in full here. If you want to look it up, feel free to Google it. But basically, Resistance Fall of Man had you fight Chimera in the Manchester Cathedral, and a lot of people were very upset with that location being used as a place for you to shoot things. Also, you may notice the area we're in right now. This is the arena where we first fought our very first stalker in the last video. Chimeras start getting a lot more difficult once more than one kind of strain is on the battlefield. If it's just a bunch of hybrids, no big deal. Just a bunch of long legs, no big deal. The moment you start combining them, then it gets more difficult. Because you'll have the hybrids on the ground trying to flank you. You'll have the steelheads popping up shields for hybrids to hide behind. You'll have the long legs jumping around above you, getting up behind you and shooting you from above. And if a stalker or a dropship appears, then that's even more frustrating, because that's a target with explosive weapons that's even more difficult to kill. And as you just saw, that was me actually using the bullseye functions tag to kill a long leg. Looks kind of cool. And that was an example of the tag function just not working at all. Couldn't get the angle to arc the bullets around the car. This is Resistance's obligatory sort of big gorilla-like creature. It's like, what, the brute from Left 4 Dead 2? It's the... Yeah. This enemy is unique to Resistance 3. It hasn't appeared in any other Resistance games, but it's basically just a fast, punchy Titan, so it's not the most original enemy. You have to shoot its armor, because its armor are just a bunch of cooling units, so once all its cooling units are destroyed, it blows up. The things it are firing at us are, if you played earlier Resistances, you'll recognize that icon as air fuel grenades. What they do is they land, release a bunch of explosive fumes, and then ignite, just flood an area with fire. As long as you're paying attention to your surroundings, the air fuel grenades should never become a problem. So we're fighting another big thing in this arena. Unlike the Stalker, yeah, the Brute can jump up on the roof of that building, so I'm not bothering to take cover there. Just keep moving. I mean, it's fast, but if you just keep sort of strafing it, it'll never catch you. Just don't stand in a corner and you'll be fine. It's such a video gamey boss. Destroy its 3 glowing weak points. The 3rd glowing weak point is the orange target on its chest. It's so video gamey. To the church.
Come on! Come on! Susan, what are you doing? We gotta get out of here.
I am tired of watching my son die.
Susie, we gotta go.
Dr. Malikov
Gotta pull out the
says
sad dad card.
that if you go to New York,
What are you saying?
if there's a chance, if there is any chance at all to give Jack a better life,
Yeah, but if I go, I might never...
don't make me choose, Joe. Don't do that to me. Don't.
Go.
You'll do your best, right?
Right.
I love you.
So now's the part where Capelli walks down Corp McCarthy's the road in order to find a better life for his son. Grow a beard, Capelli. Get your Viggo Mortensen on. I guess Malikov's got the beard, but... well... and they blew up the church, so...
The Chimera monitor the roads. We will be safer on the water. You are doing the right thing, Joseph.
Shut up and drive.
Again, the delivery of that line... it could have been a really frustrated, angry line, but instead it's just resigned. It's just not the Capelli we were promised.